Next, on Northwest Outdoors, visit the Reecer Creek Game Bird Ranch in Ellensburg. National champion dog handler R.J. Marcourt gives some tips on training your hunting dog. And then go hunting for pheasant with guest host Rob Phillips. After that, enjoy the majesty of the Northwest as a group of Yakima men, ages 65 to 85, hike to Sheep Lake on Chinook Pass. Funding of Northwest Outdoors is made possible in part by O'Loughlin Sports Shows. Puyallup, Portland, and the Redmond Sports Shows are proud supporters of public television throughout the Northwest. By Kershaw Knives of Portland, Oregon. Makers of precision tools and cutlery, Kershaw Knives continues to support outdoor programming and outdoor activities throughout the Pacific Northwest. And by Northwest Dock Systems of Eatonville, Washington. Manufacturers of Irv's pontoon boats, Northwest Dock Systems supports safe and environmentally responsible enjoyment of the outdoors. Nestled among the sagebrush on the north side of Ellensburg sits one of Washington State's dozen or so private shooting preserves. The Reecer Creek Game Bird Ranch sits on about 800 acres of hunting and dog training property. From September to the end of June, novice hunters as well as seasoned veterans visit this ranch to enjoy the thrill of the hunt under a more controlled environment. Today, outdoor columnist Rob Phillips visits Reecer Creek and met up with R.J. Marcourt of Quicksilver Kennels for a few dog training tips and a chance to hunt a pheasant.
Now, for a guy like me who owns a couple of dogs, but I don't get them out a lot during the off season, what should I be doing to get my dogs in shape for the upcoming season?
The best thing to do is conditioning, is getting them in shape. If you're a runner or a jogger, take them running with you. If you're into mountain biking or riding bike, take the dog with you. Because people bring a dog out that's been sitting in the kennel for 10 months out of the year and he's out of shape. You know, he's a couch potato and they expect him to hunt all day. Yeah. It just doesn't happen.
It's just like any other type of athlete. You've got to work them up to...
You got to get them in shape.
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes all it takes is a month and a half, but it's just every other day.
I know in Washington State after August 1st, people can take their dogs out and work them on wild birds. Do you recommend that?
Well, after August 1st, I do to a certain extent with the young dogs. But if you in a controlled situation is the best way to train a dog. I mean, you can put them on all the wild birds you want, and after a while, the dog just turns into a renegade and starts hunting for himself. And then you got yourself nothing.
Yeah.
You spent all this money on a dog to have it trained, and you have nothing.
For a hunter that's looking for just a good all-around bird dog, what should they be looking for?
Well, one thing you want to look for, if you want to buy what we call a started dog, which is a dog that's 2 years old, and he's been started. He's been shot over. He's probably been hunted a season already. And you want to look for a good-looking dog. I mean, nobody wants to have a cur running with them, you know. It's and if you're looking for a started dog, he should be able to hunt for you. He should be good temperament.
And what about buying a puppy? Is there anything you should look for in buying a pup?
When you're looking at pups that are 6, 7 weeks old, 8 weeks old, you want to get the boldest one, the one who's the most aggressive, not as in aggressive to fight, to pick a fight, but you want to get the one who's out of the box the first. When you turn him loose, the pack loose, he goes off on his own. You know, that's the one that's the one that's going to hunt for it.
What if I was to bring my dog over to you? What would I be expected to, if I was going to leave him with it for a month or so? What would we be looking at paying for something like that?
Well, what I get is $385 a month, and I keep him for a minimum of 2 months. 1 month on a dog, you just get in the kennel for the first time. You're pushing it. I mean, some dogs adjust sooner than others. The first week I have the dog, I just get him used to me and the surroundings, and then we start taking him out in the field. So actually, he's there about a month and a week. So I give you a full month training.
Huh. Tell us how you teach a dog how to whoa.
I put him up on a picnic bench like this. Whoa. See, what you do Dogs don't like to be on shaky ground. So when they move, you can wiggle the bench back and forth. Whoa, and give the command, whoa, and they'll stand there. They know if they move, the ground wiggles. Whoa. They stand still, the ground doesn't shake. And after you start doing this, and this is something you do, whoa, this is something you do twice a day, about 5-10 minutes, depending on the dog. Don't want to ever overdo it. Dogs get bored real easy. But after a while, you tell them whoa, they'll stand there. You can step back from them, you can walk around them. Whoa! You walk around dogs, and what you do, and then you just transfer this right to the ground. After she's doing this all right, your dog's doing it all right up here. That's why you have the pinch collar. You can transfer that right down to the ground.
And these dogs have a natural pointing instinct, so they'll point when they smell the bird, but you want them to whoa so that they'll stay.
You want them to, when you tell them whoa, they should lock up the brakes, even if they're running out there or on point. And it's just like I said, it's a gentleman's way. When you go in to flush a bird and the dog stands there on point, and you flush a bird and kill the bird, and the dog's still standing there on point, you can send the dog for the retrieve.
If I was just buying a new hunting dog, a new pup, what are some of the commands you recommend that somebody teaches that dog?
Well, when a pup is 7-8 weeks old, you can start teaching them, you can start training the dog. You can't put a lot of formal training in on a dog, but you can teach a dog here, that, you know, just being in the house, throwing balls for it, throwing a sock for it, and just teaching them what here means, and after a while it becomes conditioned reflex. You can teach a dog when they get older to heel. At 6 months old, you can teach them whoa and heel both. That's very important.
And retrieving, you can work with them on retrieving?
A lot of dogs will naturally retrieve, some won't. When you start pups out on retrieving, you should start throwing balls for them or socks, just so they get used to packing things around. And then it'll just switch over, gradually switch over into birds. You know, some people use a clip wing. Throw a clip wing for them, let them pack it around. And
is there anything you can do as far as exposing them to gunfire so they're not gun shy?
Well, the worst thing to do is take them to a trap range. I mean, that's the worst thing you can do is take a dog to a trap range. A lot of people say, well, he'll take him out trap shooting there and we'll tie him to the bumper and either he'll make it or break it. But there's all that noise going off, it scares them. Most of the time it ruins them.
Yeah.
What I do, I get them bird nuts, what I call bird nuts, with pigeons. Just get them so all they're thinking is birds, birds, birds. And you take a clip wing pigeon, that's not going to fly, and I get them out there, and it works best with two people if you can have a person standing off to the side. And you throw the clip wing pigeon, and the dog's chasing it, and the other fellow with the shotgun shoots off behind you, away from you. And what it does, the dog hears the shot goes off, but he's so bird nuts, he sees the bird drop, so he goes after the bird. And then you do this again, depending on how the dog reacts. Most dogs will stop and kind of bounce around and look to where the noise comes from, but these, like I said, they see the bird fall, and they go after the bird. You do that again, and just start bringing the fella closer and closer in, and do like the first time you do it, just do it 3 times, then quit for the day, and take them out the next day and do the same thing again.
How about for just the average guy that doesn't even have access to a pigeon and doing something like that? Is there anything you can do, banging pots and pans over their heads while they're eating, or? The old boys always do that with their pups. A lot of people don't do that anymore, but when you're feeding them, when we raised puppies, when we had litters of puppies, we'd always bang on the floor of the whelping box and just get them used to noises. Like I said, you take a dog, if you live in town, just take the dog out to a vacant lot, and he hears kids screaming, cars going by, and all sorts of things, because a lot of dogs are not gun shy, they're noise shy. They're scared of noises. And this is where you got a pup, if you expose it right from 7 weeks on, just taking them out to new territory, you have a good chance the dog ain't gonna be noise shy. Well, RJ, let's maybe take a little walk out through here. Now, we got to pay attention to the wind a little bit, don't we?
Oh yeah, wind is very important when you're hunting. Prissy, here!
Because we want to work the dog into the wind so it's got a better chance of smelling the bird. Maybe we'll just head down right off over this little ridge here and just see what we can find. I love to watch the dogs work. That's my favorite part of hunting. Now, how far normally will she work out?
Well, when we're hunting her like this, you know, she'll stay in pretty close, but I think it's nice sometimes by a big ranging dog. If she's hunting over there, now we don't have to go over there and hunt. We don't have to walk it because she's already hunted it for us.
Yeah. Well, she's covering some ground. That's good. Whoa, I think we have a point. Definitely.
Just go right in and right there it is. You ready? Whoa! Whoa! Prissy.
Good dog. Good dog.
Yep.
Good dog. Thanks, RJ. This is a nice rooster, Jack. I know sometimes in these game farms you get a variety of different kinds of birds. What do you have here at Reecer Creek?
We've got the straight ringnecks, which is what this is, and then we have Mongolian crosses, which is a little larger bird. It's a Mongolian with a ringneck.
Is it coloring about the same as a ringneck?
It's about the same. It's a little more purple.
Okay. And you shoot hens and roosters, or?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And then how about chuckers, or?
We got chuckers, and sometimes you'll run into Hungarian partridge and valley quail here at the, you know, just wild ones.
Uh-huh. And because we're on a game ranch, is it legal to shoot them now as well, or?
Yes, they just have to be reported to the state.
Okay. And you hunt 365 days a year, basically?
Yes, we do.
That's kind of the nice thing about a game ranch like this, is you can hunt during the spring or summer and hunt all year long.
It's a good place to keep your dog sharp.
Yeah, good place to bring a dog. Now, I've got a 13-year-old son that I'm just introducing to hunting. This would be, as we do this today, I got thinking, gosh, I should have brought him along. This would be a perfect place for a young person that's just learning how to hunt.
Right, we get a lot of father-sons, father-daughters, and husband-wives. One of the good things about this ranch is that you can bring your kid over here and you got your own 100 acres, and if you have to go over safety or you don't need to embarrass the kid, it's just you and him.
Yeah, you can teach him safety as in a kind of a controlled atmosphere.
Right, you don't have to worry about running into other people or other people's dogs.
Yeah. If I was to come bring my boy for a day's hunt, what would we be looking at for maybe a 5-bird hunt, or?
About $118 with tax.
That's not bad. You think about spending the licensing and gas and everything to go hunting for a day, that's not much more than what you'd spend on a day's hunt anyway, is it?
No, not really.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see birds.
Yeah, you know you're going to see birds and probably get some shooting. And I can bring my own dog if I want to, or if I don't have a dog, do you have dogs available, or?
We have dogs available for guided hunts.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
So you have people that'll go out with a person if?
Normally I'll do it, or one of the owners.
Okay. This is a little different hunting sagebrush for pheasants, but
well, I found them in the sagebrush.
oh
also.
yeah, when down in the Yakima Valley, when the hunting pressure gets real hard, those big roosters, they'll go up into the sagebrush and hide. And I've had some real good shooting in the sagebrush. Well, there's some pretty good cover out here, even though the winter was pretty tough last winter.
That's probably why the birds survive so well out here.
Yeah. Looks like we've got a point there. Maybe come in from this angle a little bit. Here. Here. Good dog. Good dog. Good dog, Prissy. Yeah. This has been a real fun day out here at Reecer Creek.
It is. It was. I had a lot of fun.
The dog worked real well. You obviously know what you're doing, is working with the dogs.
Prissy, here. Come here.
I love to see those dogs work, and you sure do a nice job with them.
Thank you.
And I've never done a lot of game bird hunting on farms like this, but these birds flew pretty well, and they're nice birds, and it's just a neat situation.
Well, I hate to say this, but I think that's what the hunting's going to come to.
Yeah.
The more farmers are scared of having people hunt on their place, and because of all the talk of being sued about anything,
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting tougher and tougher to find a place to hunt. There's groups like Pheasants Forever and other groups that are working hard at, building habitat. But, for a guy living in a city that doesn't know where to hunt and doesn't have a chance to get out and check out some areas and just wants to go out for a day of shooting, a game farm like this is really a good way to do it.
To really enjoy the beauty of the Pacific Northwest, you just have to be in it. Each week, twice a week, a group of lifelong outdoor fans gather for a hike on one of the hundreds of trails available around central Washington. They are gathered here at the 5,400-foot summit of Chinook Pass to hike a section of the Pacific Crest Trail. Retired from all walks of life, they get together for a few laughs and to enjoy the outdoors together. There is Lex Maxwell, Dr. Bob Mather, Dr. Harlan Hoffer, Rolla Gould, Jim Barnhill, Jim McLean, and Herb Schmidt. With a few members missing from their group, they take off on one of their weekly hikes.
Well, today we're on the Sheep Lake Trail, part of the Cascade Crest. It's about 2.1 miles from the parking lot the Sheep Lake is. And from there we go to Sourdough Gap, over the top, and eventually we will be looking down on Crystal Lake and see Mount Rainier directly in the foreground. It's a very beautiful area. The Cascade Crest Trail runs from the Canadian border all the way to the Mexican border. Basically, it's well maintained in most of the areas, except that it suffers a lot of a winter downfall from trees and slides and so on, so it's a difficult trail in some places. The area we're in now is in the alpine level. It has a lot of diversity of cedar and alpine firs. Many wildflowers, Indian paintbrush, and lupin, and flock, and bear grass. It's really just beautiful. It has some other benefits along the way. You can get into blueberries and huckleberries, and it's just great. It's a beautiful area. Lex, I was wondering, in your estimation, if since you've traveled throughout the Northwest and in the Alpine country here, how do you compare that with the Swiss Alps?
Well, theirs is much more concentrated. We've got segments of the Alps here, and very comparable, but that is one range of mountains that are unique in that people get to all of them, and they seem to be, unless you're a climber and having to queue up to make some of those climbs, you're really out in the mountains and yet very close to civilization. They kill a lot of people every year because they're so enticing.
Well, our alpine country is so much broader, isn't it?
Yes.
When you think in terms of all our national parks and high elevations that we can get to, it takes a lot longer to get to them.
People don't really appreciate, that is, the average person doesn't appreciate the North Cascades that we have. There are over 600 glaciers in the North Cascades, and some of them are big glaciers. And while the mountains themselves are not real high mountains, running up around 9,000 to 10,000 feet is the highest that they go, but the North Cascades are sheer granite peaks rising practically from sea level in places, and they are comparable to the Alps in that they're not as big, but they have the glacial systems and they have the beautiful rock faces and peaks that rear up steeply, and they're beautiful with flowers everywhere.
Well, you've climbed a lot of the mountains in the Northwest. Or
Oh,
you've
yes.
probably climbed most of them, have you not?
Yes. Well, not most of them, because it's a lifetime work to climb most of them.
Climb all of them, huh?
Yeah. But I've climbed all the big ones, and
Uh-huh.
it's been a lot of fun.
Have you had any real favorites that you've
Oh yes.
climbed more than once? Or?
Oh yes. Mount Stewart. Hey! How you doing over there? Hey Mama, will this trip be recorded in your journal? I know you keep a journal, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
It's really in the form of my calendar, but that's the way I keep it, and I put down, as I say, where we've been and who the gang that was with us on that particular trip, and weather conditions, if we, special, or was a good day, bad day, or otherwise. But it's sort of fun to be able to look back.
I remember when I first ran into you, it was 1947, and that's 50 years ago.
Yeah, think of that.
And we were skiing at American River then. We had to carry our skis up the top and run down, remember?
That's a long time even to remember.
Actually, sitting here looking at Mount Rainier there, it reminds me that as the season ended skiing in the mountains around Yakima, we would take our skis and ski down some of the glaciers up there. Look up the Interglacier up there.
Interglacier, I remember that trip.
Up the top of Steamboat Prow, we'd have to mark off the crevasses and come tooling down there. And then that was the middle of summer, and then carry our skis back down those 4 miles to White River.
I doubt that we could do that now.
One thing I do remember about it is that through skiing, we got together on this hiking and climbing stuff, and we've done a few nice rock climbs together and had a lot of fun through all these years. I'm sure glad that as the years have gone by that we've picked up such a wonderful set of friends here who've joined us. My gosh, isn't that great?